Hello and welcome back to Lately Fashionable, where today is a good day to dye. That joke is for all of the Star Trek fans in my audience. I know there are at least 3 of you. My apologies, I know I am probably horribly backlit, but needs must. I need a work surface that is close to an outlet, and this is the only spot in my sewing studio that fits the bill. So today we are up to some dyeing shenanigans. I have my old crock pot. I've had this longer than my marriage. It has served me well, but a while back, it may have been a year ago, it may have been 3 years ago, who knows, the lid for my crock pot broke. Specifically, the handle broke off, and there was no way to fix it. I suppose we could have ordered just a new lid, but it made more sense to order a new crock pot, which we did. It's a different shape anyway. I don't know if they're even still making the round lids like we had. And of course, the crock pot still works. There's nothing wrong with the unit itself, but I couldn't donate it without a lid, and I didn't want to throw it away because it works, and I thought I could use that in my studio as a dye pot, because I can just heat it up and get it on warm, and then I don't have to be at the stove, I don't have to use a hot plate. This is perfect, and it doesn't need a lid to be a dye pot. Of course, it's small, so I can really only dye small items, but I do have a small item to dye today. I'm going to go over all of my materials, but while I'm doing that, I'm going to get it started heating up so that it has time. I only have an hour to film today, so I need to get this done. Okay. I'm going to turn it on. I think we'll start it on high just to get it warming up, and then I can just switch it to keep warm when it's at the temperature I want it. Okay, so I have my crock pot. It's on plastic to protect my work surface. I've got a towel that's already stained, so I don't care if it gets more stained. I've got dye. These are dried up bottles of used dye, which I'm going to reconstitute and use this up first, see if I need more after that. I also have an opened box of powder dye, which I want to use up and get rid of. I don't like the powder dye as much because I don't want it getting in the air. I like the liquid better. I have more liquid dye in various colors in case I need to add a little bit more to get the shade I want. I have got a wooden spoon that I'm no longer going to use in the kitchen. This is just going to be a dye spoon from now on. It will live out here. Got an empty yogurt container for it to sit in when I'm not using it to stir. Got water, of course. I've got salt for mordant. I've got 3 pairs of gloves. I've got these nice vinyl gloves to go on under my rubber gloves because these are old and I don't know if they have any holes and I don't want them to leak and get dye on my hands, so I'm going to wear gloves under my gloves. And then I also have the gloves I'm going to dye. Gotta set up my other camera shot. Stand by. If you saw my glove collection video, you will know that this pair has dye transfer from another pair of gloves, and I want to dye them to basically the color that is already stained, which is a nice purpley mauve color, and I want that even deeper. I have a lot of pink and purple vintage outfits that this will go with. Again, if you saw my glove collection video, you will know that I dyed 2 pairs of gloves yellow because they were already yellowed with age, and I thought, why not lean into that? Okay, so to start, I'm going to get these wet, because when you dye things, you want them to be wet first. Ideally, you want to wash whatever you're dyeing. I did not do that. I also have scraps of cotton that I can use to test the color see what I'm working with, decide what changes I want to make. All right, so we are first going to add the salt. I am doing this very unscientifically. We're just gonna see what we get. Woo! Like I said, this dye is already used and fully dried out, but I imagine it will work just like powder dye. Just have to add water, right? I don't like wasting anything. You should see the way I clean out a peanut butter jar. Alright, yeah. I got some color going there. You know what, I'm just gonna let you sit and soak. Okay? Cool. Some of this one as well. So we've got purple and violet so far. And I know that neither of these are going to amount to very much dye at all. I want to use it. And then I can throw away the containers. Ooh, that one had a lot of color left. Look at that. Yeah. And cleaned itself out better too. I should be wearing a smock. Let me just... There, now my clothes are protected. Oh, this is going to take such a long time to warm up. Those are pretty well cleaned out. I should be wearing my gloves at this point. Add some more salt. According to the instructions, salt is a good mordant for cotton, rayon, or linen. Vinegar is good for nylon, silk, or wool. These are cotton gloves, so we're going with salt. I'm actually really curious what kind of color I've got just cleaning those out. Oh, look at that! That's pretty. It's nowhere near as vibrant as I want it to be. Also, my water isn't warmed up yet. But we're on the right track. I'm gonna set you there. Okay, putting gloves on. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix up the color while I'm waiting for the water to heat up. I have had this box of dye for I don't know how many years. I think it has come with me through like 4 moves. I'm really ready to be done lugging it around. Not that I'm going anywhere. Oh, see, this is why I don't like powder dye. I don't want to breathe that in. Okay. This may be my most chaotic video to date. I love dyeing. I always feel like a witch stirring her cauldron. Do you like my evil laugh? Oh, my first time trying it out. I'm a little impressed myself. Let's see what kind of color we have now. Ooh, okay. It's definitely more of a wine. And I think I want closer to the purple. So I'm gonna add Some more liquid purple. Should maybe shake this up. Yeah, that looks better. Alright. Spit on it. Ooh, that's still very wine colored. That did not make much difference at all. Okay. More purple. I might have to add some blue. Oh, I've splattered my gloves. Did not notice that happening. That's probably the powder dye flying in the air and settling on those. Oops! I better get them in this dye bath quick. I cannot believe I let that happen. I should not have set them next to the dye while I was working on it. Rookie mistake. Okay, this is not changing the color at all. I need to add some blue. I have more dye, don't worry. Of course, the only blue I have is aquamarine. This might be left over from dyeing my wedding dress. Oh, that was 11 years ago. Here goes nothing. There's just a teeny bit left. I think I definitely added the powder color too fast. It's a shame. I really liked this color that I started with. I don't know if I can get back to it. I just know it wasn't enough dye. I might just have to go for it, guys. I'm nervous, but I mean, they were already ruined to begin with, right? I'm not gonna make them any worse. Here we go. Try to even out that color. That's all I can hope for at this point. It's an even color. I don't know what kind of color we're gonna get. Ooh, it's pretty. All right, let that saturate. I don't want to leave it in too long because I don't want them to be super dark. Also, my water is not even warm. Not warm at all. It's kind of hilarious. I should have set this up like half an hour before I wanted to start this video, but I was not thinking that far ahead. Note to self, the crock pot takes a long time to heat up. Remember that for future dye projects. Alright. Good news is I like the color. That's all I know so far. Don't have enough information. I'm very nervous about leaving them in too long. I really like this color. It's going to be lighter than this. I don't want it any darker than this. So I think I'm going to go inside where the sink is, rinse these really well, and come back and report. Okay, I have returned. They are thoroughly rinsed. I rinsed them first with cold water because that helps set the dye, and I rinsed until the water ran clear, then switched to hot water just to rinse out any lingering excess dye that the cold water didn't rinse out, and did that until the hot water ran clear, then switched back to cold water just to set it really, really well once more. And the color is pretty much exactly what I was hoping for. It's not quite as bright as my original first swatch, but it's pretty good. And it is going to dry lighter than this, but I'm pretty happy with the evenness of the dye. I think I have successfully covered up the original discoloration. I don't have splotches from when I splattered powder all over them. I am seeing a couple of yellow dots here and there, and I'm not sure what's causing that, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm happy with the color. I'm fairly happy with the evenness of said color. So I'm gonna call that good. Now, of course, while I was doing that, time continued to march on, rude, but also my dye pot is still heating up and I still have dye. So I'm gonna put some more fabric in here and just see what I can get. Because as I said, I do not like to waste anything. Especially the time and effort of mixing a beautiful color of dye. And I have some white fabric that has no particular purpose. I believe this is a cotton polyester blend. I think it was the lining of a curtain that I used the outer fabric for another project. And I did overlock the raw edges, which means that I have washed this. I'm not gonna bother getting it wet first because if I ruin it, I don't really care. Like I said, it's fabric I don't have a use for at the moment. But if I like the color it turns out, I can probably find a use for it. And if it dyes unevenly, that'll just be its own thing. Here we go. Oh, that is so satisfying. That's nice and warm now. Just gonna get all the air out of it. Should try to mostly unfold it so that the dye is fully penetrating all of the layers. Should have done this before I put it in. Yeah. I should be wearing my smock again. Oh no. This is fun. Whew, okay. Okay, let's turn you off. I think we're done with the crock pot for the foreseeable future. Now this is a lot more material than the gloves were. I'm not going to try to wring it out here and bring it inside without dripping everywhere. I'm just going to bring the whole crock pot and rinse it in my utility sink. It's a pretty color. Alright, so I will check back with you when the gloves are dry, which will probably be tomorrow. Or, you know, a month and a half later. One of those. Anyway, the gloves turned out beautifully. I did wear them on the last day of my year of dressing vintage, which was also the last day of my month of gloves. I wore this dress and I think they looked really adorable with it. And I can't wait to wear that outfit again. Though I will need to find an occasion. Anyway, this was a really fun little project. I look forward to more dyeing in the future, now that I know the crock pot system works. So stay tuned to see what I decide to dye next. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give me a like, and if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye! I didn't hit record. This is when my nose starts itching, of course. Perfect timing. Hello? I thought we were recording. Were we not recording?